Check this bike out. You don't find these very often. This is a 1994 Honda Cr125. So I thought I was getting a great deal on this thing. It popped up for $1,200. Messaged the guy. I was the first one to message. I said I can come grab it, and he even called me and said, "Yep, sounds good. We'll meet at the Walmart parking lot." And he called me back maybe 15 minutes later and said, "There's another guy that offered $1,550 for it." So he's like, "Sorry, I'm gonna have to take the $1,550." And I was like, "Oh, come on." So I had to pay $1,550 for this thing. I had to match the price in order to get it. Kind of sucky of the seller to do that once we agreed on the price, but it is what it is. We got the bike though, and hopefully we can get this thing running today. So the story on this is that it's been sitting for 12 years. It was put away running, supposedly, by a guy that went into the military. So he left it at his barn. It sat there for 12 years, and the seller went there, bought it from the guy, and was going to get it running, but decided to sell it instead. So that's kind of the story. The guy said he took off the carburetor and was about to go through the carb, but he was looking at parts for it and everything. He said it was too expensive, so he put the carb back on, didn't really touch anything else, and he said he never attempted to even start it. So we will see today if we can get this thing running and driving. That's the goal. One thing that stood out to me that was a little weird was gasket maker on the head right here. You can see some gasket maker around here, so I don't know if they tried sealing the head with gasket maker. But there's no way it would run with just gasket maker on the head, I wouldn't think. And then right here, the manifold is all cracked right here, at least on the outside. So we'll see if that goes all the way through. But it does have a factory voicing cover, which is kind of cool on the side. So we'll see what happens today. $1,550 was pretty expensive to pay for this thing, but hopefully it will be worth it. And we can hear this thing fire up today. So Vinny's gonna help diagnose our problem. See if we can get it to run, right, bud? What do you think of it? Oh, he's jumping. I think he likes this one. So let's get it unloaded and start digging into it. Should be an interesting one. Alright, little walk around to the bike here. I do have the other shroud in the garage, so it is complete. Not a bad looking bike. But this thing has pro taper bars, full FMF addy pipe, and then you've got the FMF Power Core 2 silencer on there. You've got the works connection guards here, the factory racing voicing cover. So a couple nice upgrades to it. The rest of it looks stock. Still it's a stock seat cover. It's got like that retro pink color to it, just like my CR500. But yeah, it's not a bad looking bike. Tires on it are pretty decent yet too, so that's good. Rear tires getting down there. But yeah, let's get this thing in the garage, start digging into it. I'm itching to hear this thing run. Alright, so let's see if this thing kicks over. I didn't even do that yet. Oh yeah, feels like there's decent compression in there. Cool. Alright, let's check the coolant. Let's see if there's anything in there. Start with the basics here. Yeah, and there's zero coolant in there. Where'd the coolant go? If this was put away running, there would be coolant in there. So it either drained into the engine, or there's a hole in the radiator or hose somewhere. So first thing we're gonna do is get some coolant in there and see if this thing leaks. Holds anything. Hopefully it's not super low. It's pretty low. Alright, it's tapped off right there. Not seeing any leaks yet. So I'm hoping it's not going into the engine either. Alright, so here's the fill cap. Pretty gray looking. Good dipstick in there. Alright, let's see if it's milky. I just have a feeling it is. Nothing on the dipstick yet. There we go. Hey, it's not milky. Looks pretty gray to me. So what we're gonna do, there's a check bolt down here. We're just gonna see if there's enough oil in there. We're obviously gonna change it, but let's just see if it was put away with enough oil. Yep, you can see it dripping out of there. So, there's enough oil in it. That's good. Alright, so right now we're in neutral. There's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Yep, definitely shifts. There's neutral again. Let's take a look at the fuel in the gas tank. See what that looks like. The guy said it was sitting for 12 plus years, so we'll see. Alright, that's off. Looks like he had that off to check the fuel, I'm guessing. There's fuel coming out. Looks like it's mixed. Ooh, a little dark. Which I guess is better than too light, you know? So. Ooh, that is strong smelling. Yeah, that's been sitting for a while. That is a strong, strong smell. Smells like straight alcohol. So, that's definitely old fuel. Alright, let's see if there's an air filter in here. Take the seat off of here. The seat's got a couple small rips in it. Right here and right here. But I think that's the original seat cover on there. So, not in bad shape for being original. Ooh. Yeah, air filter's not in there. No cage in there. That's a bummer. So it needs a cage and a bolt. But this thing's packed full of like a big nest of some sort. So let's vacuum that out. And then, yeah, we're not gonna kick it over until that carb's off of there. I don't wanna suck anything through. But yeah, definitely a nest in there. I don't know if there's ever an air filter in there, or if it, oh yeah, look at all these nuts in there. Either a squirrel, a chipmunk, or a mouse got in there. Just wrecked everything. Let's get that vacuumed out. There had to be like 30 nuts in there. That's crazy. Whatever was in there was eating pretty good. But we're gonna take off this carburetor first before we attempt to kick it over and test compression, because like I said before, I don't want a nut to suck in there and wreck everything. So, looks like it's got the original key and carb on there. We'll get that off there next. It's even got the tank strap yet. Just kind of checking over the frame here, making sure there's no cracks in the frame. You can see the rails are pretty dented. This thing was probably raced hard, but it doesn't look like any cracks in the subframe or the frame, so that's good. You can see everything looks pretty good. I'm not seeing anything, not seeing any cracks at all. But yeah, look at those rails. Those are dented pretty good. Wow. And then just to confirm it is a 1994, what you do is you look for the 10th digit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. That's an R, and that matches up with 1994. So it is in fact a 1994. We can get a closer view of this manifold here. You can see there's cracking around there. So I'm hoping that's not all the way through, but it looks like it might be. So we're gonna be extra careful taking off this carb, but we're gonna order up a new manifold right away for it to replace, because that's pretty bad. The carburetor off. I don't know if he wrecked the boot or what happened to it. Yeah, it's pretty tight on there. So we'll heat up the rubbers here. Yeah, there's no way this carb was off here. May as well take off the whole thing. But I think what we might do is take the subframe off. Carburetor, ooh, that's pretty rough. I wonder if water got in there. That's like packed full of stuff. That's not looking good. Take this whole boot off and inspect that. Yeah, it looks like it does not look good. Slide came out easy, but you can see carb is rough. It's packed full. We'll probably just put a little gasket maker around some of these cracks right here, you can see, before we put it back on. That should seal that up enough until we get a new boot for it. But that's the worst spot right there, that one crack. So that's good news. We're gonna have to take off these reeds. It looks like we've got Boysen reeds on here as well. See that? So I think what we're gonna do is take those off right away too. Make sure there's nothing in between the reeds that can be sucked into the engine. We're hoping no water got into the top end. Bolts are off. Let's see if we can rip a gasket here. Pop off of it. Yeah, it's coming. There we go. Yeah, the gasket ripped. Darn. Yeah, you can see the reeds are just packed full of crap. So we'll have to use the air compressor and just blow all that out. Yeah, we didn't want that getting sucked into the engine here. Oh yeah. Kinda hard to tell. But at least the piston's in there, right? Alright, so now we can actually turn this thing over without damaging the engine. Let's get the spark plug out. And we'll see if this thing has spark. Alright, spark plug boot coming off here. You can see that's kind of taped up right here. BR8ES plug. It looks pretty good. Not damaged at all. Looks like it was running pretty decent. It's not extremely black and not extremely light, so looks like it was running pretty good. Let's see if we've got any spark. Alright, before we kick it over, let's just get a little oil down there. So this is just a little marble mystery oil. Hoping we're going to free up the rings here. Lube that up. Now I'll just kick this thing over a little bit. Make sure it's smooth. That doesn't sound good. Oh boy. Looks like there's a bunch of water in there. You guys hear that? That is not good. I'll look in here and see what what appears to be water sloshing around. Yeah, whatever it is, it looks like water. Doesn't sound very good. Huh. Not good. So what I'm gonna do is try to stick a hose down there and suction some of that out. But I guess we can quick check spark before we do that. Just to see if we have any spark here. Yeah, a bunch of water in there. Great. See if we have spark at least. Oh yeah. Yeah, we've got spark. That just sounds awful in there. Alright, let's see if we can suck some of that out. Alright, we sucked out some of the fluid in here. Now listen to it. I hear like a knocking. That sounds like a rod knock to me. No wonder the guy didn't want me to kick it over. Jeez. I think that rod bearing's toast. Just listen. Ooh. It's not sound good. Yeah, I definitely think that rod bearing's gone. So, does not look good. I would have been able to tell if I turned it over fast, but sounds really bad. Alright, so to me that sounds like rod bearing. We're gonna put a compression tester in there, quick get a compression reading, see how that top end is. We're hoping at least the top end is good, right? We'll do throttle open. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, that's not good. 110. And you could hear it, it sounds absolutely horrible in there. There's no way this bike was put away running. No way. That is such a lie. My gosh. That's kind of annoying. That is crazy. You see how bad that sounds? Only 110 pounds of compression too. Yeah, this thing is clapped out, I think. Oh, come on. Thought we were getting a good deal. Yeah, if you turn it over really slowly, you can't hear the rod knock. Man, that really sucks. Oh, come on. Low compression and rod knock. Oh, that's exciting. So I think what we're gonna do is tear on the top end, unfortunately, and then check out that rod before we go any further. I don't want to start it up and have it just go through the case or something. Oh boy, that is very unfortunate. But it is what it is. That's what happens when you buy a used dirt bike. You never know what you're getting yourself into. And people lie all the time, so. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully the cylinder and the power valves are salvageable. Oh boy, because this thing is gonna be hard to find parts for. Alright, let's get this pipe off. Springs are still on there. Bunch of water in the pipe too. That's awesome. Cannot believe I paid $15.50 for a blown up bike like this. That is insane. This one hurts a little bit. This one definitely hurts. I have no one to blame but myself, I guess, for it, but man, that sucks. You can see there's gasket maker all over the head. There we go, come on. Jeez. Here's the head. You can see there's some damage to the head there. And a gasket maker's all over it. Looks like they had a leaking head and then just put gasket maker all over the gasket. That's one way to fix it. Oh boy. It's not looking good. Not looking good. But there is still damage to it. Now, let's see what the rod feels like here. Yeah, you see how that moves down? Uh-oh. There's some slop in there, for sure. Alright, let's see what it looks like in this cylinder. Oh, cylinder looks pretty decent so far. We're hoping we get lucky there, at least. Alright. I think all that looks pretty decent in there. Let's see. Everything's moving. That is a complicated set of power valves. Bunch of gears in there. Yeah, it's pretty complicated. There's a little pin right here. You gotta pull out. You can get that linkage off. Alright, now that should come off like that. Look, it's coming. It's on there pretty good. Good go. Alright, I think the cylinder is salvageable. We'll take a closer look at the cylinder, but yeah, get this off. Oh man. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. That rod bearing is absolutely horrible. That's almost the most play I've ever seen in a rod bearing before. Look how much play that is. Oh, there's no way this was put away running. And it looks like the ring is stuck as well. Yeah, ring is stuck, that's why it was lower compression. But that is absolutely horrible. There's really no side to side, there's just a bunch of up and down play. Wow. I believe this is like the stock piston and the stock crank and rod, I believe. It says Pro Series on it. But yeah, man, that is absolutely horrible. I should have kicked this thing over and not listened to the seller about that. I'm kicking myself right now. That really sucks. But at least the cylinder is fine. And the head, I think we can save, so. It's really just the crank at this point. We'll tear on the clutch and see what that looks like too. Maybe there's a new clutch in there. All right, let's get the kick lever off. There we go. Even has the chain guard on there. Sprocket. Needs a new sprocket too. That one's pretty worn. What the flywheel looks like. Alright, there's that cover. There we go. Pulls off like that. .22mm nut on there. Alright, I have a feeling this is going to be stuck. Nope. Alright, this engine should come out now. Let's see. There we go. Alright, engine is out on the bench here. So, let's drain the oil, see what that looks like first, and we'll start digging into it. But a little closer look at the rod here. That is absolutely horrible. Alright, we got this drain plug loosened up here. Let's get this off. See what that oil looks like. We'll just lift this up and dump that out. A bunch of water came out. It's fantastic. Oh boy. Bunch of water in the bottom end. Fun, fun. You guys can see all that. Well, lots of water in the bottom end. We're off to a terrible start. We're going to get the shifter off, and then we're going to work on getting the flywheel off of here. You're going to see what these gears look like, being in water for 12 years. At least there was a little oil in there. It's mostly water, but at least it wasn't completely water. There we go, slides right out like that. Alright, let's see if we have a puller. I'm thinking it's this one. Yep. This one goes in here like that. Alright, let's see if we can pop that off. There we go. Ooh, a little rusty underneath there too. Look at that. Wow. Flywheel doesn't look too bad. Looks like we've got a 10 mil there and there. Alright, that looks like it's in good shape. And at least we know it has spark. It wasn't locked up, so. Check out this crank seal, by the way. It's just pushing right out of there. Look at that. That's something. So this one probably had a really bad air leak as well. So it would have revved up really high if it did run. I don't think it did, but yeah, it's coming out too. We'll take a look at the water pump here. We'll see if this is the reason why a bunch of water was in the bottom end. And there's another gasket underneath here. Is it really on there? Save this piece because those are really hard to find. Nothing's corroded out or anything, so that's good. And that spins with the crank. So impeller looks good. Look at all the water coming out. That's crazy. So much water. Oh boy, there's a lot of oil in there too. Jeez. None of that was draining out of the drain bolt. Don't know why. Alright, cover coming off here. Oop. The kickstart stopper was right there in the cover. You can see all the oil mixing with the water. Crazy. Doesn't look like anything's broken off yet. Alright, let's see what the rest of this looks like here. Nothing broken there before. Underneath the nut here. That was a little tricky to get off. There we go. Whole clutch should pull off. I'm looking at the clutch basket. Doesn't look like a whole lot of wear. All these will have to be cleaned. You can see all the water in there. Not good. Here's the kickstart mechanism. That still appears to be good. Get that spring out of there. Shift shaft can be pulled through. Oof. Bunch of rust in there. Wow, that's really gross. Yeah, this thing is pretty rough. No broken gears or anything. No teeth are broken. Teeth look good. I'm caught up on something here. There we go. Let's check out that crank seal. That one's not too bad. At least it's still in there. Alright, now what we're gonna do is split the case. So, go to the other side and take out all the screws here. Okay, I think that's all of them. It's coming out. Oh, crank bearing is toast. Listen to that, jeez. That's not too bad. Yeah, not good. All right. Transmission. Here's the crank. There's a washer right there as well. whole thing can come out in one piece, like that. So if you spring like that, keep that in one piece, put that off to the side, and there's gonna be a 12mm deep socket you want for this. Comes off like that. You can just take the shift star off like that. That all looks good. There we go. Shift drum is out. Take a look at the shift drum. You can see there's no wear marks anywhere on the shift drum. Shift forks look good. There's no shavings in here at all, so I'm assuming everything's pretty good. The transmission, without losing any pieces here. Alright. There's a little washer on that side too. A little crunchy. There we go. That one's smoothing out. Now we can pound this crank out. Alright. There's the other case half. That bearing feels a lot better than the other one. So, there we go. No damage to the case at all. And yeah, that one's pretty much toast. So what I think we're gonna do is have a rod installed onto the crank. All right, let's check out the transmission here. Check out all the teeth. Yeah, everything looks good there. So that transmission looks good. Make sure there's no teeth that are missing or broken. That looks good too. So those are all perfect. Shift forks and shift drum look good. So let's check out the cylinder next. This is the cylinder. And you can see it's nice and smooth in there. Yeah, no damage to the cylinder at all. Here are the power valves. Those are working. Those as is. We'll have to tear the power valves apart once we hone this out, but for now we'll leave those in there. Everything's working smooth in there. Alright, let's quick take a peek at the carburetor. I'm interested to see what this thing looks like on the inside. These are all stripped out, that's nice. That one's not. Let's just see how bad this is. Hopefully it's salvageable here. Oh, it's not that bad. I was expecting a lot worse. Oh yeah, everything's there, so that's not that bad. I thought it was all gonna be corroded and crappy in there, but yeah, even the jets don't look too bad. We're running a 172 main, it looks like. So that'll clean up at least. See if the choke is working. Choke is working too, so we'll put that back on and clean that out a little bit later, but I think the carb should be salvageable. Well, I was fully expecting to ride this thing today, but once we found that rod bearing to be almost completely gone, that kind of ruined that. And I blame myself for this. I should have kicked over the bike harder, and then I would have heard that rod bearing, and then could have negotiated price a little bit more. But for some reason I trusted the guy and believed him that it was a running bike when the previous owner put it away. And obviously it was not. The rod bearing doesn't just go by sitting, you know. And it's bad, you know, it's really bad. So the guy would have been able to hear it knock. That's one of the worst rod bearings I've ever seen. I mean, the play in that is just crazy. So you definitely would have been able to hear that. You can hear it kicking it over. That's very unfortunate, but luckily the rest of the bike is pretty good. So I think what we're gonna do is order up a fresh top end for it, new piston, new rod and bearing, and maybe have that pressed on. If I can find a crank, I'll buy the crank, but that might be hard to do. And then we'll get the head sent out and get that cleaned up and shaved down. The gears back together here, probably get new clutch plates because those are sitting in water. And then all new bearings for the engine cases and a new gasket kit, and we should be good. So we've got 1550 stuck into it right now. I think if we put another probably 500, 600 bucks into it, we should be good. So from this project, I've learned that we really need to check over the bikes a little bit better than what I do, especially if I'm paying the prices I'm paying for these things. Because right now we're putting more money into the bike than what it's worth. And that's not a good thing. So we'll have to really check over these bikes next time we go and buy one. But yeah, I should have kicked it over harder and found that the rod bearing was junk. But what can you do? I'm kicking myself all day for it, and all you can do is learn from that and move on and not make the same mistake. So there's always a learning experience in there somewhere. Plus we got to work on a cool bike and tear it down, so it wasn't a complete loss. But next video we'll get this thing up, running, driving, and hopefully take it for the first ride. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next video, and until next time, we are out.